Over the past few years, the issue of plastic in the ocean has become very mainstream. Finding solutions to reduce the use of plastic has become a trend and has led to movements such as Save the Turtles and an increase in the prevalence of reusable straws. We want to put this issue in context and spread awareness about how the plastic pollution moves in the ocean and its effects on the climate and wildlife.
In order to understand how plastic pollution affects marine environments, it is necessary to discuss the mechanisms of ocean circulation. The density of ocean water is influenced by two main factors, temperature and salinity. Salty water has a higher density and a lower freezing point than fresh water, so it tends to be found in colder, higher pressure areas. The formation of sea ice in the polar regions, for example, increases salinity because the salt itself does not freeze. Ocean water is generally warm and less saline at the equator, where high solar irradiance creates a low-pressure system that produces precipitation. These differences in density lead to deep water formation, a kind of convection in which colder, saltier water sinks below warmer, less salty water. This process and the currents that it drives are known as thermohaline circulation. Prevailing atmospheric winds also have an influence on the movement of the ocean. They are guided by the Earth's temperature gradient and the Coriolis effect. Wind-driven ocean currents are, along with temperature and salinity gradients, responsible for the direction in which the surface water moves as well as formation of gyres. Ocean gyres are rotating convergences in currents that typically occur in large, open ocean areas. There are 5 major gyres: the North and South Atlantic, the North and South Pacific, and the Indian Ocean Gyre. They play a large role in oceanic circulation patterns, but also pose a problem when it comes to the transport and accumulation of marine debris. While not all plastic pollution ends up in gyres, significantly large amounts tend to amass within them as waste is swept up and pulled along by the converging currents, creating garbage patches. All 5 of the major gyres contain sizable garbage patches. The most famous example is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, located within the North Pacific Subtropical Gyre. Most of the debris in the garbage patches is made up of microplastics, which are not noticeable to the naked eye.
Oceanic biodiversity is some of the richest on the planet. Some of these species have been roaming the ocean for millions of years, and our waste should not be a cause for their deaths. Although there are still many marine species, pollution and manufacturing have caused a huge decrease in biodiversity. Every species from phytoplankton to the blue whale have a job to do in order to maintain the ecosystem, and when they become endangered or extinct, the ecosystem is disrupted. Pollution is a main factor in biodiversity loss. Since there are so many types of materials put in the ocean, there are many ways that plants and animals can be harmed. Some causes for animal deaths are thrown out fishing nets, also called ghost nets, microplastics, plastic bags, and microfibers. Many species, such as turtles and birds, ingest the fibers in microplastics, making them feel full. Since they cannot digest plastic, it just sits in their stomach. The animals believe they are full, but in reality, they are starving to death. Also, if predators such as sharks or whales feed on the fish or birds that have eaten plastic, they can be harmed as well, through bioaccumulation. The microfibers seep into the immune systems of the animals, making the predators more susceptible to infections and breeding problems. Also, many animals get tangled in the ghost nets. When the animals get trapped, they are left to die of starvation or lack of oxygen.
Since plastic in the ocean has become such a major issue, there have been many projects to try and reduce the amount of plastic used and remove the current plastic in the ocean. Countries such as the Bahamas and Canada have started to pass legislation that will ban the manufacturing and use of single-use plastic. In 2020, the Bahamas will ban plastic bags, plastic utensils, styrofoam containers, and plastic straws. Corporations are also taking initiative to reduce the amount of plastic used in production. As of 2018, a global commitment to eliminate plastic waste and pollution has been signed by 250 plus organizations, representing 20% of all plastic packaging produced globally. The commitment brought together the world's largest packaging producers who all created a goal to strive to make sure that 100% of plastic used in production can be reused and recycled by 2025. Large corporations such as H&M, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi are all part of this commitment, which is a huge success towards reducing use of plastic. Not only are there corporations and companies trying to reduce the production and use of plastic, there are also organizations that are trying to remove plastic from the ocean. An organization called 4Ocean takes mission trips to Florida, Bali, and Haiti to remove plastic and waste from the ocean. There are also steps that everyone can take to reduce plastic use in their everyday life. For example, buying reusable grocery bags, buying in bulk to reduce packaging, using a reusable water bottle, and reducing the use of plastic straws. Taking the time to recycle or pick up trash that has not been properly disposed of can also prevent these items from ending up where they shouldn't. These may seem like small and insignificant steps, however, in the long run, they add up and can significantly reduce the consumption of plastic.